Well, welcome back to Spill the Yoni Tea, where we don't sugarcoat the shadows. We stir them up and we transmute that emotional chaos into gold. Yes, baby boo, it is all about alchemizing that bullshit and turning it into gold. I am your host, Angelina, your unapologetic Gen X witchy sister embodiment coach, and your reminder that the monsters under your bed were probably just your, well, they're not probably, they're just your fucking unprocessed feelings. So grab your favorite tea, grab your favorite coffee. I got my matcha stirred up with my black cat vibes, and we're ready to rage within love triggers and the monsters we created. Yeah, this one is going to hit deep for y'all because we are talking about anger, love, and all the emotional demons that haunt us when we're trying to heal. Let me stir that up hot. When we are trying to heal, those monsters are gonna fucking haunt us. We are not running from them anymore, baby boo. We're Gen X. We're gonna fucking turn around and we're gonna start learning to dance with them and grab the power back. So let's start sipping. Give me a second, boo. Mmm, that is some good matcha. Let's talk about anger. Real talk. Anger gets such a bad rap, like anger management, because there's different types of forms of anger. Let's face it. When there's a built up, people are going to be explosive and yeah, they're going to have rage. But anger, we were raised to believe that it's toxic, childish, or something we have to control, especially as women, especially as empath, especially anyone raised in keep the peace era of Gen X homes where emotional expression was fucking rare as day without sarcasm. But here's the spiritual truth: anger isn't bad, baby boo. Anger is a frequency of truth. It is one of the body's purest messengers from the soul. Anger says, hey, I got boundaries that are being crossed. Anger says something sacred inside of me has been dismissed. Anger says, I'm done betraying my fucking self. The problem isn't anger itself, it's what happens when we suppress it. Because when energy doesn't flow, baby boo, it festers. It's like a dam. You know, when you block a dam and it's not flowing into streams, you're disrupting the whole ecosystem. And yeah, and it has a trickling effect that you're not going to see for years later. And what happens when you repress? When your repression turns into resentment, it turns into anxiety. All those late night rage clearing sessions, when you suddenly remember what someone said 3 years ago, 3 months ago, 25 years ago. Okay, let's get real. Nightmare on Elm Street. Y'all remember Freddy Krueger? The only power he had is when people ignored him. When you faced him, you fucking weakened him. That's why Nancy beat Freddy Krueger. She fucking finally faced him. Same goes for your anger. When you deny it, it owns you, baby boo. When you face it, you start owning yourself. Now, let's take a break. Let's break it down spiritually versus psychology because I like mixing both magic and science because you know what? Ultimately, science is magic. I don't care what all you say, but it is. Spiritually, anger vibrates in the lower chakras, the roots, and the solar plex. And the root chakra holds safety, and the solar plex holds power. So when you feel angry, your energy is saying, I don't feel safe, or I feel powerless. I'm scared. And your alarm system is going off like a fucking ticking bomb. Psychologically, anger is often the secondary emotion underneath it, usually sadness, fear, or disappointment. Most of us grew up without the language to express these emotions. So instead of crying, we fucking exploded. Instead of setting boundaries, we disattached. Instead of saying, I'm fucking hurt, we say, whatever. That's not healing, baby boo. That is survival. And we can't thrive in survival mode. Yes, it will get you through whatever it is you're going through at that moment, but you cannot solely live in that because you're never going to find that peace. And yeah, and I'm going to be very straight. I've been in the spiritual community for I've been around the block a long time, y'all. And everybody makes anger, rage sessions, they make it seem so like haram, like so bad, like so put it in a corner, like let's hide it. You gotta be happy, 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 happy thoughts. Okay, that's fucking spiritual delusion at its core. When you're angry, you can't repress that. You've got to find healthy ways of releasing it. And the number one thing I do with a lot of my clients when we go through embodiment sessions is the rage session, where they feel safe in an environment and we can go back to a time and a place in their childhood where that stagnant energy has been trapped. They've had like a constant pain in the shoulders and they just can't figure it out because they've been carrying the weight of shit since they were 5 years old, of not being able to express, and giving them a safe place to express that rage. In one of my rage sessions, so many people are so uncomfortable with that. But then once they allow themselves the freedom to be expressed, their anger to be released in a healthy way, it's it's a freedom for them. It's the most liberating thing that they say that they've ever experienced. And it is because we got to stop making it look like shame. We got to learn to control our feelings and regulate our emotions, and that is allowing that anger and that hurt to be seen and be felt, baby boo. So how do we navigate anger consciously? Step one, you have to acknowledge it. You got to say it out loud. I'm fucking angry. Don't judge it. Don't label it as bad. Just name it. Step two, when you're angry, breathe into it. So if you've got to scream, shout, like feel like that dragon, just feel like you're burning that fire of rage within you and you're going to release it and scream it out like a dragon with your breath. When you breathe consciously, you tell your nervous system it is safe to feel because your body can't heal when it is in fight or flight mode or survival mode. It heals in presence. Okay, so step three, ask yourself deep questions. What is this emotion trying to teach me? Because anger isn't random, it's directional. It points towards where you're still out for alignment with your truth. And baby boo, like when you see a child having a, a tantrum, a breakdown, it's because they're releasing that anger. And it is really up to you as a parent or whoever's in charge is to help them direct that anger in a healthy way, not to feel ashamed of it. I mean, come on, I'm a mother. And when my son had a tantrum, it was the most embarrassing thing. And I felt like dying because you feel like, oh my God, like everybody's going to think I'm a crazy mom. But sometimes I find I got to a point where I would just have to walk away and let him freak out, do whatever he needed to. And then at the end, I'm like, you fine? We're good now? Can we go? And no, you're not getting that. So let's just go. And then we would go on. But it is really that. And when you look at children, that is the purest form of emotional regulation. It is messy, it's chaotic, but it's truth. Okay, look, you can light all the sage and play all the sound baths you want, baby boo. But if you're still swallowing your truth to keep the peace and want to live in spiritual delusion, baby boo, because you know what? I am about the truth, the love, and light. In order to claim that fucking sword of light, you got to embrace your truth. You got to face the demons that are haunting you, which is your shadows. When you are being in spiritual delusion and you're bypassing all this shit, you are not healing. You're fixing yourself on, like, I call it like spiritual heroin. You're getting a good fix and it's like, okay, did it do the trick? Give me another fix. Give me another fix. That's spiritual bypassing with a cute filter. Your spirit doesn't want perfection. It wants authenticity, and authenticity is fucking ugly and it's fucking messy, boo. It's not perfect. And if you are looking for perfect, you are going to be searching for something all life because you were perfectly imperfect. And authentic people get angry sometimes. That is why people are drawn to authenticity, because it's about the crazy, messy, human experience. Being angry, being real, being who the fuck you are. Getting angry sometimes is normal. The power is in what you do with that anger. When you learn to alchemize it, when you sit with it, journal it, move it through your body, it becomes fuel that pushes you further. It becomes clarity. It becomes your hell fucking no that makes space for your sacred hell fucking yes. Okay, now we're turning why love triggers same pain but different faces, because this is all going to tie in. So hear me out. Let this podcast play out, because we are going to combine, because love and hate are two the polarities of each other. So this is why we're going down this road, boo. Okay, let's talk about sequels. You've ever date someone new and think this time everything's going to be different. Then 6 months later, you realize you're staring in the same damn emotional horror movie you just came out of, just with a different cast. That's it. That's your shadow talking. That's the love trigger, baby boo. Your shadow is the part of your psyche that holds all the stuff you rejected and denied, or fear within. It's not evil, it's just unhealed. But it's sneaky and it shows up as the kind of partner you attract, the drama you fucking keep repeating, and the cycles that keep looping until you learn the lesson, baby boo. It's like poltergeist. You moved houses, but the ghosts came with y'all. Because it's not about them, it's about your energy. And that is what a fucking poltergeist is. Spiritually, we attract what we haven't healed. Not as punishment, but as opportunity. The universe doesn't say you failed, it says here's another fucking mirror. And let's get real. You can't manifest true love from wounded frequency. I'm going to say that again. You cannot attract real love with wounded frequency. If your self worth is built on so much of how other people validate you, your relationships will always feel like emotional roulette, factual, or attachment styles are formed in childhood. It felt inconsistent, unsafe, or conditional. Your nervous system learned to chase chaos. And that's the bottom line. This is why I really wanted to tap into this anger emotion, because when you're feeling angry at a partner, that's your opportunity to break the fucking cycle, baby boo, and set your boundaries. So let's go back. Okay. Healthy love feels boring at first. But it's really not boring. It's fucking peace. You're just not used to it yet, baby boo. Spiritually, Every love triggers a portal back to your own heart. When someone triggers your abandonment wound, it's your soul saying, stop leaving yourself. Come back to home. We need you. We need you out here fixing us. When they make you feel unworthy, your higher self whispers, you forgot who you are, baby boo. Knock, knock. You forgot who you are. Healing love triggers means learning to self regulate instead of self abandonment. And yes, and this is why I'm going back to about that anger, because especially for us ladies and some of us men, either we can have really explosive anger attitudes, but that's a part of passion. I mean, you don't want to disrespect, but you got to start understanding your anger, because anger is a core wound of disappointment. Like it regurgitates back to it. And that anger, when you feel in your heart, if you're repeating the same cycles with partners who just can't commit to you, and you're feeling constantly abandoned or betrayed, or you see them with somebody else, some of us, we feel really hurt and angry inside. We want to scream, but we don't. We'll do other things to avoid it. Baby boo, that is the problem. And that's why I really wanted to tap on the anger. And when you see somebody hurts you, grab a fucking pillow and scream in it. Curse in that pillow. Release that anger, because it will stay and fester in your body. And when you don't do the embodiment practices of a release, this is somatic. This is somatic movement through the body, releasing the emotions and regulating the nervous system. When you repress it, you are causing a dis-ease in the body. Let me rephrase that so you can hear me say it louder. It triggers a dis-ease in the body. Your body is not at ease, baby boo. So how do we navigate love triggers? Step one, pause before reacting. Feel that emotion. Allow that emotion to feel in your body, dude. When you are triggered, your nervous system floods you with adrenaline, and you're not thinking. You go straight into defense mode when you refuse to do the fucking shadow work because you're scared to face those shadows. And I can't emphasize it enough. You gotta face those shadows. So that way you can learn to pause, turn around, and face the shit you don't want to face. And you breathe, step back, ground yourself. And a great way of just grounding yourself is really standing tall, like doing the Superman pose, you know, expanding your chest open and really standing in your glorious power and feeling so strong and feeling invincible, feeling your feet anchor into the ground, feeling so safe in your body. And that is how you can emotionally regulate and ground yourself. Because let's face it, we're not going to all have our smudge sticks with us if we're at work and a situation happens. But you got to learn to stand tall, lift your head up, and just like envision shoots, anchors dropping from your feet and anchoring you down so you can act and regulate those emotions accordingly. And ask yourself, what is this emotion teaching me? Instead of looking and trying to blame them and put the blame on them, like, oh, well, there we go again. Here we go again. They're just like the other person. No. Stop saying that. Stop, and stop saying that. What is that emotion teaching you? Instead of, why is this happening to me? Ask, what part of me still believes this fucking narrative in this story? Now, step three, baby boo. We're going to reparent your fucking inner child. Yes. When that little you feels rejected, hold them up and do this in your mind's eye. Say, I'm not going anywhere this time. That's what healing looks like, baby boo. It is self loyalty. It is standing in that power, standing, really owning that Superman pose that you are standing in that moment, instead of letting these emotions take control of you, baby boo. Yeah, it's hard. Are you going to do it all the time? Fuck no. But the fact of you having this knowledge and just having these tools, it might take you like 5 minutes to process this while you're going through this emotional turmoil or this trigger. But then when you remember to get into that pose, get into that, you start doing, and I fucking promise you, you are going to see the difference. Because let's face it, Gen Xers have been emotionally DIYing it since the fucking 80s. We grew up in broken homes. The latchkey kids and trauma before therapy was even a trend. We didn't have emotional manuals. We had the fucking Breakfast Club and sarcasm, but now we're the generation breaking the patterns. We're trying to break the patterns. We're the ones teaching the next generation that vulnerability is power, not weakness. And a lot of us have subconsciously, we're trying to teach our children this, not knowing what we're doing. And now that we're evolving and getting older and we're in our midlife, we're kind of seeing how our higher self has been playing in the background all along. Now we just got to listen to it and we got to stop running from it. So transmuting rage and love into fucking awareness. Here's where the two meet, rage and love, because under both is the same soul craving to be seen, to be heard, to be valued. Anger says, see me. Love says, choose me. But awareness says, I'm already seen and I choose myself. That's damn fucking right. I already see and choose myself. That's the balancing point. The scared union within spirituality. That's when your masculine and feminine energies come into harmony within yourself. That is your yin and yang, vibrating and circling and emanating in harmony. Your inner masculine becomes your protector, setting boundaries. Your inner feminine becomes your nurturing, offering compassion and love. Together, they create wholeness. And when you create wholeness like that, baby, boo, within yourself, is it going to be perfect? No, I'm going to be honest with you. It's fucking work. But the awareness of knowing that polarity is within you, once you start flowing into that polarity within yourself, you start vibrating and emanating and calling that real shit in. Is it going to be perfect at first? No, probably not. But that vibrational force you're calling, someone that matches your energy and your soul frequency, and that shit is beautiful and rare. But it takes time, baby boom. So, factually, when you integrate both, your nervous system becomes stabilized. You stop chasing highs and lows and you start living in your center. You start realizing that fire within you is the fucking straight up biggest high you'll ever get. And that juicy magic is within you, just waiting for you to balance that. You don't need that dopamine fix because you are your own fix, baby boo. That's where emotional intelligence lives. That's where an awareness becomes power. And when your awareness meets emotion, damn, that's the fucking alchemy. You no longer just feel your emotions. You use them as guidance. Anger becomes your fucking truth, boo. Love becomes wisdom. Triggers become teachers. Yo, think of it like your final scene in an 80s horror flick. You just faced every fucking demon, every ghost, every broken heart, and now you are standing in the ashes of that fucking Superman pose, like I said. Blood on your hands, mascara running down your face. You look at the camera and say, I'm fucking done running. That's not rage anymore, baby boo. That is the fucking rebirth. And tying all this stuff into the rebirth because this is the season. October, November is the season for shedding. December and January is about reflecting and preparing for the rebirth. And that is exactly what I want to take you guys on this journey with this podcast. So when that rage rises again within you, breathe. Take a deep breath in and really feel that breath fill your whole body, feeling you pull your own power within. And when you're ready to release that rage or anger or whatever emotion you're feeling that trigger, exhale. When love triggers you, gotta pause. When your shadows whisper, listen, because every emotion is a message from your soul saying it's time to come home. Healing isn't about avoiding pain, it's about meeting it with fucking awareness. Anger isn't toxic, it's truth. Love triggers aren't curses, they're invitations, boo. And awareness, that's your freedom. If this episode hits you in the gut, good. That's your soul fucking waking up. And that is your higher self telling you, we gotta get those boxing gloves on. We gotta get into that ring and we gotta face some of those demons that are we keep running from that are underneath our bed. We're gonna pull them up by their feet and face them. And that's the truth, baby boo. That's you realizing your emotions aren't your enemy. They are your fucking messenger. And I'm gonna say it again. Depression, honestly, in my world, in the spiritual world, because spirit tells me depression is really made is a time for you to decompress. Now, if you don't do the work and you keep running from those shadow parts, that decompression is going to look a lot different. Whereas if you actually are reflecting and looking at those shadows and you're like, yo, you want to keep me in bed? You're going to keep me in bed and we're going to figure this out and go head to head toe and I'm going to face you. That is learning to turn that and decompressing those thoughts. Because you are not too much. You are the storm and the calm that comes after that storm. You are the mirror and the magic that breaks that fucking spell. This illusion that you keep playing. Because fear is an illusion that keeps you trapped in your mind. And it is about dropping into that heart frequency and learning to trust you and regulating you and connecting to your higher self. That is your heart space, baby boo. And if you're ready to go deeper, to transmute your anger into awareness, your heartbreak into power, then hey, hop on a 30-minute strategy call with me and we'll uncover your shadow stories and help you reclaim the parts of you that you forgot. And you forgot how truly powerful you are, baby boo, because I'm going to be here almost every week reminding you just how fucking beautiful you are. And you are so worthy of being fully embodied in your power, whether that's your divine goddess or your divine masculine God energy. Baby boo, I'm here to help you. You can catch the Yoni Tea on Spotify, or you can also find this on my YouTube channel, wherever you binge your healing tea. And remember, You don't need to resurrect what's dead to find closure, baby boo. You are the resurrection. You are the closure. You are the awareness. And if this hit home, please give this podcast a like, follow, share it with somebody. I want us to thrive and I want you to live your best goddamn life, baby boo. And I want you to be free and embody your juicy magic. So cheers, salute. Thank you for joining me today on Spill the Yoni Tea. Sending you lots of love. Ciao.